We have used brushes in the past in other assignments, but for these assignments we're going to use the actual brush tool. Let me open up a new document. I'm going to File, New, and just to have something to work with, I'm going to select a web size page, 800 by 600 at 72 dpi. White background content is fine, as a matter of fact preferred, since we're going to be painting on top of this. I'm going to click OK, get it started. Now that my document is created, I'm coming over to the toolbar. The brush tool is the one that's located just below the band-aid. Select brush tool. I'm clicking and holding in case you have something else, maybe one of the tools we've used before, but we want the brush tool now. The settings for the brush tool are up here. I'm going to select a larger size, maybe go up to 30 points or so, or maybe 40. Hardness, I'll keep it at 0, just so that you see what's going on. My colors currently are black on white, black foreground color, white background. I'm going to click and drag across the stage, and you'll see that I get sort of a spray paint effect. If I were to make the brush any larger, I would end up with a larger spray. I can double click on my foreground color and pick another color. I'll pick this red and spray paint on top of that. The mode currently is normal, but just like our layers, I can apply just about anything else. And these will have different effects, depends on what you're using. There's so many here that you can pick from. Really, I recommend that you play to see what's going on with each one of them. Going to bring this down back to a usable size, maybe 40 or so. I'm going to return to normal. My opacity is at 100%. If I were to go down on this, obviously it would be a lighter color. I'm going to undo all my spraying. Just went back in the history to where we started. If you were to set the hardness down to 0, then you would not get that spray paint effect. You'd get more of a marker effect. It just depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Let me clear that again. Up in the preferences, just where I changed the size and the hardness, which I'll bring back to 0. You'll notice that there is a selection of different kinds of brushes. I'm going to expand this. So it doesn't always have to be the spray paint or the marker. It could be something thinner like a pencil. It could be a different angled brush. It could also be a shape, such as 112 and 134 here. These are actually blades of grass. Let me click on that and switch to a green color. And now that I have a green color, I'm going to use the brush to draw that shape. You see, sort of it does that on its own. It's actually adding different sizes of blades of grass. It's changing the color. And that's all happening not so much because we just selected the blade of grass, but rather because on another panel, which is this one right next to it, you could also go to Window and Brush to get the brush paneling up here on the right. You have several settings that you can work with. You can set up the spacing as you are drawing or brushing the screen with your shape. You could also have different angles on this. You could turn it upside down. I mean, I don't know that that would work for grass, but you can play with the shape dynamics. You can make them larger, or they can make them all the same size. And just like the filters, there are so many here that I invite you to start playing with these and see what you find out about them and what you like about them. I'm going to use another brush. I'm going to pick a brown and just start to draw some random leaves out here. Photoshop comes set up with a standard set of brushes. You could also pick some more on this gear icon. There are sorted brushes, basic brushes, all kinds of brushes. Only thing to remember about this is when you're adding the brush, let's say click on wet media brush. It will ask you, do you want to replace the current brushes or do you want to append them? So if I never want to see these again until I reset it, I would click OK to replace it. But I will click append, and rather than lose these brushes, I will add the brushes to the paneling. If you were to say OK and delete them, you could get them back by resetting your preferences. But for now, I'll just leave them like this. You can also go to the internet and find brushes that have been made by somebody else. I've given you some links. I'm going to download this one from DeviantArt. Click download, and I'll save somewhere where I can find it. I'll put this on my desktop. This is in a zip file, so let me open that. And I will unzip the file. Just created a new folder. Let me open that. Whenever you're done downloading your file and unzipping it, you will get an ABR file. That's an Adobe brush file. I'm going to right click on this and tell it to open with Photoshop. I have Windows 8, so let me do this just this one time. So now that we've double clicked on that file, our brushes have been installed. I'm going to click on the brush panel and you'll see that I have some new brushes down here. Let me clear the space so that I can draw with these. I think they were shooting stars. Let me pick a different kind of color and change the brush to, let's see, this set of shooting stars. And now we have a brand new brush to play with. For this assignment, I just need you to play with the brush, draw some shapes, write your name, go to the internet, find a new brush, download it and install it, and upload your file into eCampus and you'll be done.